Hi everyone! So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of reacting to something that's currently playing on TV like Criminal Minds, I'm going to be reacting to one of my all-time favorite childhood shows, Where Are You, Scooby-Doo? And I got the idea while I was watching an old anime that I used to really like when I was in elementary school. And I started watching it, and mind you, I had my mom record all of these when I was at school. They had videotapes lined up. And I started watching it when I found it on YouTube, and I was halfway through, I was just kind of like, why did I like this? This is kind of annoying. And, well, I mean, the show was fine, and I liked it because of the childhood nostalgia it gave me, but the voices, or the voice actress, was kind of annoying, and there was just certain things that they did, and I was like, this is kind of dumb. I don't understand why I liked it, but, I mean, I still watched it. But that's what gave me the idea to react to something that I used to watch when I was a kid and react to it now. And this episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Or Where Are You, Scooby-Doo? Is set in Hawaii, which is where I'm from. And so it hit me a little bit harder than the other episodes when I was a kid. But let's start. So a Tiki scare is no fair is what this episode is called. And look at that beautiful volcano going over there. Let me make this a little bit softer. I like how this is what they think a luau looks like in Hawaii. I mean, there's tables, guys. It's not just people sitting on the sand eating poi and food. I'm also gonna say, visiting an ancient village of a lost tribe is probably not the best thing to do in Hawaii. For many different reasons. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. So, one thing I want to say, pineapple parlor, not what we call bars here. Or clubs here. But it was funny. And this is... Okay, I'll let the scene go first and then I'll explain. So the ghost drums are playing, the volcano's over there, everything turns red. And then this guy comes out. Some guy wearing like a tiki mask, like a feather boa, a red robe, and like has a stick with a skull on it. Okay, I'm gonna explain it a little bit right now. That scene gave me such nightmares when I was younger. I mean, maybe it's just because it was just in Hawaii and I'm from here and everything, but I remember watching this episode, freaking out, and then I went to sleep that night, and I had a dream, because my aunt lives up country, where the volcano is. I mean, the volcano is dormant, but you know, it's like DED dead. But, you know, as a young child, you don't know that. And I remember falling asleep, dreaming that I'm up country in my aunt's house, and the drums start playing, and the volcano erupts, and the tiki guy comes out. Oh, that was like the worst nightmare ever. I still remember it to this day. And, I mean, the guy's not even that freaky if you look at him. Like, the costume isn't as scary. And I remember waking up and I was just like, I don't want to go visit Auntie. I don't want to live in Hawaii. I don't want to be by the volcano. I'm going to stay in my house where I'm safe. And, you know, they had to explain to me about dormant volcanoes and how they're not going to erupt, or they have a least likely chance to erupt. And I did not listen until maybe like the 5th time that they told me. Just throwing that out there. I also like how the same freaking song plays in every bar that they end up going to. Every one. I mean, not bar. Parlor. I don't know what it's called back then. But in the same club, the same song is always playing.
Ghost drums? Witch doctors? What? Shaggy, in a hold of yourself.
Like how he's like, get a hold of yourself. Self hugs the entire body.
So, where is everybody?
I mean, I would say, like, you know, the locals are pretty smart. If you see something that even remotely looks bad, locals will be out of there. Like, for example, if the water looks bad at the beach and it's like dirty, brown, you can't freaking see in it, locals will head it out of there because we know what it means. We know it's not safe to be in the water. You know, if it looks remotely unsafe, locals are gonna be out of there. I can promise you that.
I've got an idea. Let's ask that old man. What old man? Who's that?
See any clues?
Okay, I like how they parked the car. The guy was there. And Velma's like, let's ask the old man. What old man? I'm like, wouldn't you see it, the old man, when you drive in, sitting underneath the gigantic statue?
Now let's find Mr. Sims. Let's go.
Shame on you two. After all, he's our host, and he took us to 47 luau's.
I'm sorry, 47 luau's? You'd be like broke by the end of those 47 luau's.
Jungle, thanks.
So I'm gonna comment on something that I noticed in the beginning, but I didn't comment on it then. And I don't know when this episode came out, but whoever drew this is under the impression that Hawaii people live in grass shacks, because that's all I see, and they're not even in the village, the haunted village or whatever that they're supposed to be going to find this Mano Tiki Tia. So they're not even in the haunted village yet, but all I see is just grass huts, and it's like, Hawaiian people live in houses, man. You know, we have wooden houses and brick houses and fences and all that good stuff. It's not just grass huts.
Scooby's keen tracking.
Yeah, bats. Join.
I don't even know if we have bats here. I want to say we don't, but I could be wrong. But I don't think we have bats in Hawaii. I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure, I want to say like 50, maybe like 70% of me wants to say we don't have any here. I do have to look it up. That's interesting. So I'm going to comment on something again that I didn't comment on at first, but I'm going to now. If Mr. Sims was in fact the ghost and he is white-skinned AF, how is the ghost tan AF? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how did his skin tone change from being Mr. Sims and then being the ghost and then going back to Mr. Sims? Like, I don't understand. Did he like get a spray tan just for being the ghost and then washes himself off? Like, I don't understand. Like, your tan just mysteriously disappeared.
Oh no, and me without even my slingshot. Like I guess a club will do. Okay, Spooky.
I love how he like grabs Scooby's tail and Scooby just becomes rigid enough to become a bat. Like a fully dog-sized bat.
Come and get it.
On the real though, wild boar are like no joke. If you don't have any idea what you're doing and you encounter one, I don't know if the first instinct would be to run, but I don't know if you can outrun a wild boar.
But they're not gonna get me.
I like how she's like, they're not gonna get me, hides in the hay pile. I was gonna say, you're not a very good villain if you can't find someone hiding behind a statue.
Come on, Scoob.
Okay, so if this gigantic statue on wheels is looking at things from a great distance, how does it miss... Okay, so the scene is they're running and there's a broken wall and Velma just pulls them behind the wall. But if you're seeing things at a great distance, how do you not see that they're hiding behind the other side of the wall? You know what I mean? Because he just skates right past him. It's like,
Velma.
what?
Like in another moment, that freaky Tiki would have made boy out of this boy. Let's barricade the door. Come on, Velma. Right, thanks.
I'm still wondering how he got in there. I can't believe this actually worked.
Me, Tarzan, this Jane.
Yeah, me, Jane.
Him, Cheetah the Chimp.
What? Okay, Scooby-Doo obviously looks like a dog, and they're like, and Cheetah the Chimp starts acting like a monkey. Okay, so that makes him a monkey now? In the eyes of the villain, it's like, that's obviously not a dog anymore. I don't...
You look for boy, girl, and dog?
It worked. What a lucky break.
Like some lucky break.
Oh, I love that. It's like, what a lucky break. Splat. Falls. Tree branch breaks.
Hey, an airplane.
Definitely a clue.
It's a skinny spooky.
No, Shag, it's not real. Look at your foot. See? It's a tripwire.
Yeah, it sure tripped me.
Yes, but it also operated that fake skeleton. And look what Scooby found. A tape recorder that made the skeleton laugh.
Like I sure fell for that trick.
Naturally.
Okay, I would have freaked out too, especially if she pulled off the cord that activated the trick wire out of the speaker that played it and it still laughed. Okay, yeah, my ass would hella out there too. But yeah, I don't know how that worked. I would have been freaked out too.
Who is that old man?
The old man is the least of your problems, guys. Trust me.
Foolish mortals, you have returned to face the wrath of Mono Tiki Tia.
I also like how Mr. Smith... Is it Mr. Smith? I don't even remember his name anymore. Sims! That's his name. Sims. I like how Mr. Sims' voice changed from something low to something very high. And then back to something low when he growls. It's just interesting. I like how he gets so lazy that he's actually riding on the statue guy and chasing Shaggy and Scooby. This is one of my favorite scenes in this too, where he's pressing the button with that trick door and they're just doing things to distract him. Look at Scooby dancing hula with freaking flowers in his hair. I love how the Tiki guy gets so flustered every time he's like, he does things with his hands. It's like juggling plates. I love how he just got so angry. He's like poke, 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 poke. He's like, I'm done with this. And then they land in the plants and he gets scared off because now they're covered in plant stuff and they look like monsters. Kind of reminded me of the scene from Pocahontas when I think it was Miko and the dog, Percy, they get stuck in that tree trunk and they scare off those two guys that are looking for John Smith. And then they end up falling over and they're like just stuck in it for a while. But that's what the scene reminds me of.
From the mystery machine.
I like how they have a trick amusement park mirror in the mystery machine. Like, how do you come by that and just keep it in your car?
The witch doctor here. Right, like we're experts. Then when the witch doctor sees his image in the mirror, he runs down the trail and plops right into the giant pit we covered with palm leaves. And bingo! We capture the witch doctor and solve the mystery.
I like how they conveniently forgot about the statue with wheels. that also is with the witch doctor. They completely forgot about it.
Stop clowning the Scoob. It's time for school business. Hey, Scoob, pick up the beat. What you crying about?
What you crying about? Oh shit. But in a way, this worked because it caught the statue guy and the witch doctor guy because they fell in the hole. So it all worked out.
Well, what do you know? We got him. Now for the unmasking. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Sam. But what is a Mano Tiki Pia?
See, Shaggy, it's like a parade float operated by Mr. Sim's henchmen.
What kind of a parade float can move its entire body, though? Like, I understand it being looking like a statue and just moving forward, but it was moving his hands and everything. I was like, what kind of a parade float does that? Like, it bends over and everything. I don't understand how that's a parade float.
Now all the clues add up.
What about the mysterious old man?
Perhaps I can answer that. Lieutenant Tomorrow, Hawaii Police Department.
Okay, the way that he acted as the man throughout the entire episode was very sketch. It was. I wouldn't have trusted him. I would have been like, you're kind of sketchy. I don't know. I'm just gonna run away from you. Especially with that old man gimmick where he just looks kind of creepy. Like, he doesn't look like a nice old man. He looks like a creepy old man. But, I mean, just the way he acted the entire episode was just so sketch.
I was on the trail of these burrow poachers for a long time.
But at least his tan stays throughout the entire episode. It does not go away and come back. He just stays tan the entire time.
But thanks to you kids, and you too, Scooby-Doo, things got wrapped up in a hurry. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was interesting. I didn't realize I had as much to comment on as I did. I thought it was going to be, like, super simple and I would be kind of bored. Just, not bored, but you know what I mean? Like, watching the episode, I thought it was just going to be kind of stagnant. I wasn't going to comment as much. But it turns out I found some stuff to comment on. Oh, and just at the end of the episode where he surfs onto the sand and grabs the stuff, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work either way because the sand would be too mushy to actually go on a surface, you know, and just, I don't know if that would actually work in real life, but it was funny, so, and it's a cartoon. Cartoons have their own, you know, whatchamacallit, like, they have their own, I want to say element, but that's not the word. Oh, their own physical traits, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know. They have their own physics, so. But, yeah, that's the whole episode of Scooby-Doo. That's my comments on it. Now you know my nightmare when I was younger. And hopefully this was at least a little bit more fun. Hopefully this is just fun for you to watch in general. I mean, it's a little bit shorter than a Criminal Minds episode, so there's that. If you enjoyed this kind of stuff more, or if you enjoyed watching me react to something that's a little bit more current, please let me know down in the comment section and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.